Norfolk police officer Brian Jones shot and killed on the job last night. Another officer in the hospital.
Police officer shot and killed this morning. The suspect
tonight, a state trooper killed while on duty. Trooper Amanda Anna was 31 years old. She died.
A Wisconsin State Patrol trooper killed in the line of duty during his first solo shift on the job.
Right now it's the passing of New York City police officer Brian Moore.
Bishop was shot and killed during a traffic stop in Carrollton County, Georgia.
And in the space of 1 second, shoot Officer Kokab and then Officer Curtis in the head. 1 second.
A police officer in Downey, California was ambushed and killed as he sat in a police station parking lot late Wednesday night. Police have arrested
34-year-old officer Benjamin Dean and 25-year-old officer LaCorey Tate were shot and killed during a traffic stop Saturday night.
Mourning for the people of Hayward and the Bay Area law enforcement community after a police sergeant was shot to death in the line of duty. KPIX 5's Ann McAvoy.
28-year-old Ashley Gwindon was a decorated Marine Corps reservist who was just beginning a new career as a police officer. But her first day in uniform would be her last.
Major Greg Barney was killed trying to serve a no-knock drug warrant in Atlanta.
The deputy is 40-year-old Suzanne Hopper, a 12-year veteran, a mother of 2, and she just got married.
Shot while sitting in his patrol car at a red light in Las Vegas.
2 suspects, a man and a woman, both in their 30s, walked into the restaurant holding guns. They shot the officers at point-blank range. They were apparently just eating lunch.
Houston, Texas, all to honor a deputy who was shot and killed simply while he was filling up his patrol car at a gas station. Police
that officer has been identified as Officer Jason Mosier, a 6-year veteran of the Fargo Police Department. Now, he was shot during...
That's the dramatic radio call from a Philadelphia police officer the moment after he was shot in the line of duty.
Highway Patrol saying the officer's hat was found with blood in it. Then his cruiser was nowhere to be found. He was reported missing. The officer was later found shot outside the Danville Municipal Building.
You know, how do we keep citizens safe? How do we keep law enforcement officers safe? So law enforcement safety, public safety, a huge concern right now.
Hi, I'm Jim Comey, Director of the FBI. I want to recognize and thank all of our law enforcement colleagues as we mark National Police Week. The most important part of National Police Week is remembering and honoring those who've made the ultimate sacrifice to try and keep their communities safe. One of the hardest things I do as FBI Director is I call the leaders of departments who have lost an officer in the line of duty. I make far too many calls. I make calls to small departments, to big departments, to urban departments, to rural departments. I make far too many calls. It's very important that during this week we take a moment to remember those who've made those sacrifices and to honor them. But we also want to take a moment to thank those of you who continue to do this work in the name of those we have lost. There are a lot of ways to make a living. Now, there's no better way to make a life. You have chosen to do something that is different than what other people do. You have chosen to do good for a living. I hope you don't lose sight of that with all the burdens and all the challenges that come with being in law enforcement. I think we're at a time where we have an especially challenging relationship between law enforcement and communities that we serve. I think it's very, very important for all of us that we do our absolute best to try to see clearly those people we serve and to look for opportunities to have them see us, see the nature and character of the people who are in law enforcement and why we do the work that we do. I'm confident that if we have that conversation and we have good, clear seeing in both directions, we will heal some of the divisions we're facing now around this country. So, thank you for taking time to honor those we've lost. Thank you for choosing to do this for a living and with your life. You make an enormous difference. Thank you.
In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed Public Law 87726 declaring May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. Each year, tens of thousands of survivors and supporters of law enforcement come to Washington, D.C. to pay tribute to those who have chosen to serve their communities every day and to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Family, friends, and colleagues come from all corners of America and even from companion countries to take part in the week-long tribute, most spending time at the one and only National Place of Remembrance, privately but officially commissioned in their memory. Dedicated in 1991, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. is the nation's monument to honor federal, state, and local peace officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice for the safety and protection of our nation and its people. The monument features a reflecting pool surrounded by two curving 304-foot-long blue-gray marble walls. Carved on these walls are the names of nearly 21,000 officers who have been killed in the line of duty throughout our nation's history. Unlike other monuments in Washington, D.C., however, this memorial is ever-changing. New names of fallen officers are added to the walls each spring in conjunction with National Police Week, as survivors and supporters converge on the monument to pay tribute to the fallen heroes. At the most recent tribute, thousands gathered on the U.S. Capitol lawn as President Barack Obama offered solace to the memorial.
We hold them up as heroes because that's what they are. It takes a special kind of courage to be a peace officer, to be the one people turn to in their most desperate moments, to be willing to run into a dangerous situation when everybody else is running the other way. Scripture tells us to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, but only a special few take that commandment so deeply to heart that they are willing to risk their lives so that others, often total strangers, can know peace and security. And that's what peace officers do. And today we honor 131 who made that ultimate sacrifice.
The women and men whose names are forever engraved into these walls represent the best that America has to offer. And while the earthly lives of these brave and loving souls have been tragically extinguished, in the hearts of all of those gathered here today, the light that they brought to the world burns on.
Lion, shots fired. Myrtle and Lion. Shots fired. White Chevy Estor, Chevy Silverado truck. He's still going. White Chevy Silverado truck, I copy. Myrtle and Kiwanis, Lions 10-3 in the main. Send me fire, I got my partner down. Give me fire, I got one down. Who's down? Sergeant Lunger's down. Copy that. They're en route.
Attention all units. Stand by for last call. ID 63922.
Dispatch to 3507.
ID 63922.
Dispatch 3507.
Negative contact with ID 639.
All units negative contact 3507.
On his final call, officers of power displaying the highest standard of his profession
Served our community for 10 years.
in order to aid his fellow officers.
Patrolman Nicholas Schultz was mortally wounded.
He made the ultimate sacrifice of his own life.
A true public servant. We consider it a pleasure to have served with you.
Thank you for your service, Officer Jordan. You will never be forgotten in your devotion to family, friends, and duty.
here is complete.
He has gone home for the final time.
Is off duty for the final time.
At 3507, you are clear to go 10-7, 1042. Rest easy. Your brothers and sisters behind the badge will cover your soul.
639, you are clear to go 10-7.
Without a thought for yourselves, you race into the fires of hell. Unselfishly, you sacrifice and give your all to save a life. Anonymity's a pale reward for all the things you've done. Heroes unsung. You've seen the worst the world can give. You hold inside what you can't forget. The armor grows to block the pain. It's just so hard to communicate. And you never thought that you'd burn out, but sometimes you feel low. Heroes unsung. With uncommon acts of bravery, you rush into harm's way, giving something to the rest of us there is no way to repay. Have we taken you for granted without counting up the cost? 'Cause every time we lose even one of you, the best of us is lost. You're a human being with hopes and dreams. You've got a name and a family. If we never stop to tell you thanks, that day has finally come. Heroes unsung. Have we taken you for granted without counting up the cost? 'Cause every time we lose even one of you, the best of us is lost. You're a human being with hopes and dreams. You've got a name and a family. If we never stop to tell you thanks, that day has finally come. Heroes